What if I told you that life was a virtual reality experience and that you could hack the algorithm to create any experience that you would like? The problem is that we find ourselves believing that the nature of reality is as it appears to be. But this is not true. It's just not true, man. You see, the first thing we need to come to understand is the first law of reality. And that is that all is one. We've all heard it before, that we are all the same stardust. Nobody actually lives this way, and yet it is undeniably true, which means that most people are breaking the law. Hello, Officer God. Yes, this is the one. Next time you'll think twice before breaking the law. When we live out our daily lives, we perceive ourselves to be a separate individual in a world of separate things, and yet the truth is that all is one divine intelligence evolving and manifesting through an infinite array of different forms. It's all the same atoms, it's just structured in different ways, vibrating at different frequencies. You see, you as a separate entity are limited. You can only do so much. When you identify with this body, you become a slave to the animal kingdom, and so therefore the world becomes hostile. There is you against the world. It's us against them. And this is the root of ego. And so when we live from a state of ego, we have to struggle and we have to strive and we have to suffer our way to success, because we have to manually change our experiences to be as we want them to be. And so we are operating in space and time. So if we want something, it takes time to get it. If we want success, it takes a lot of hard work and effort. You believe that you have to solve all of your problems, heal all of your trauma, that you have to figure it all out. And when you are burdened by all of these things, life is very difficult. But that is only for those who are living in the illusion of separation, which is most people. The fundamental premise in which we have built the foundation of our lives is false. There is no separation. This is the great illusion. There is only one. Now there is a scene in The Matrix where Neo attempts to bend a spoon, and the monk child tells Neo, "Don't try to bend the spoon. That is impossible. But simply realize that there is no spoon." Logically, we assume that reality is as it appears, that there is in fact a spoon. That there is in fact a spoon. Look, I see it with my own two eyes. Here it is. But we assume reality is the way it is because that is what the mind tells us. We assume we are who we think we are because that is what the mind tells us. But the mind only exists in separation. That's its job. But Neo is able to bend the spoon once he realizes that he and the spoon are one. Meaning that the spoon is nothing but an extension of himself. And so too, in your experience, you must come to realize that there is no separation between you and the things that you experience. There is no separation between you and what you want. Everything that you desire is already yours. All the beautiful experiences, the beautiful relationships, all of those material things that you want. All the peace, love, and joy, all the peace, love, and joy is already yours. The problem is that you don't believe it because you have spent your entire life living in separation. And from this limited perspective, you are right. Everything that you want is separated from you. That is the truth of your experience. But as I said before, separation is an illusion. You are stuck in the matrix living a 3D reality in which you have to manually with your hands. Change the experiences of your reality. And this takes time, it takes effort and energy, hard work, perseverance. Look, this can work because people do it all the time. It's the only way that people know how to change their lives. But just because you can ride a horse across the country doesn't mean that you shouldn't take an airplane. But even an airplane is too much. This is like a quantum leap, where you instantly shift from one point to another, beyond time, beyond space. But you cannot access this power unless you shift your identity from the body-mind to realizing your nature as the one divine intelligence. The only thing that is. For many of us, we may simply want to enjoy better experiences, to make some money, to have some better relationships. But make no mistake, there will be those who understand the true power of what I speak about, performing miracles in the same light as Jesus Christ and other saints who have done the same, to be able to heal any disease, to know the thoughts and memories of others, to materialize objects out of thin air, powers of telekinesis, clairvoyance, seeing into the future, levitation, and even resurrecting the dead. But for those who are more logically minded, they could not dare accept these things as possibilities. But we have built the foundation of our societies on a false premise. And so our basic knowledge of what is or is not possible is extremely limited. From the 3D perspective that most people are living in, none of these things are possible. And so they believe it to be true, but it is only true for them. From a higher perspective, once you recognize the unity behind all things, your understanding of what is possible explodes like a supernova. There are implications beyond our current ability to fathom, a new reality beyond anything we've ever seen before. This power is available to you and all human beings, but it requires a great sacrifice that few are willing to make, and that is, you must be willing to surrender your specialness. You must be willing to give up who you think you are for what you really are. Imagine for a moment that you were a cup of ocean water. Like an animated cartoon, here you are, saying, "Oh, look at me, look how special my cup is. I'm the coolest cup. I am unique, unlike any cup that has ever lived before. I am special." But what I am offering is that you pour yourself back into the source from which you came. You are no longer a unique cup of ocean water, but you have become the whole ocean. You no longer identify with your body or your mind, but you realize that you are the same one divine intelligence that permeates all of existence. You are life itself. You are the very essence of God. And to see this clearly, you must become and remain empty. And like a pure and empty vessel, the divine essence of God, the power that you are, can flow through you most freely. But unlike most people, this power is caged. It is locked up. It is a slave to the body-mind. And so most do not have access to it. But as you stop feeding the body-mind identity, this power gets unlocked. It becomes more and more free. And instead of being a limited, separate individual in form, you embody the formless, the infinite, the eternal nature of what you really are. And when you embody this power, you gain complete control over your reality, because all of reality is you. As Christ was the perfect vessel for God, God could do God's works effortlessly through him, and this manifested as the many miracles that he performed. The power of God can do all things. The infinite and the eternal has authority over the limited and the temporary. And so one harnesses the power of God to change reality as they please. You too have this power. But who will give up themselves? Who will choose to give up their specialness, their attachments to separation and individuality? Well, the good news is that you do not have to do much. In fact, you do not have to do anything at all. Too good to be true? Because the fact is that you are already this. You cannot have what is already yours. You cannot become what you already are. You cannot do what has already been done. It takes no effort because what I speak about cannot be done with effort. Effort implies work to achieve a certain outcome. But if you are working to achieve a certain outcome, you are living in separation. And you will not find what you are looking for. What I speak about is a state of being that which you already are. You see, we are all born enlightened. We only become endarkened through the conditioning of our life. Like a great dark cloud that covers the light and the warmth of the sun, we perceive ourselves to be separate from the divine. But this light, this power, never went anywhere. It was just temporarily covered. So allow the clouds to clear away by remaining empty, by being present, by not feeding your thought clouds with your attention. The more you give your thoughts your attention, the more the cloud will stay. Do not entertain any mind movement, but just observe the movement rise and fall back into the emptiness, back into the silence. The more you give your thoughts your attention, your energy, the more the cloud will stay, and the divine light will be covered up for you. But if you learn to observe with detachment, the clouds will come and they will go, and the sky will clear up. Use prayer and meditation to call upon God's grace, to clear the sky and free you from the illusion of separation. As Ramakrishna once said, God is like a magnet and you are like a nail. When the nail is covered with dirt and mud, with earthliness, the nail is not attracted to the magnet. But as you begin wiping away the dirt, the nail becomes attracted to the magnet once again, and you find yourself continuously drawing nearer to God, until eventually there is no more separation, until you realize that you and God are one.